Hello.
Hi.
I'm trying to find some paperwork.
Okay.
I believe,
You got that on right now?
yes, ma'am, I do. Looking for a court order that bans electronic devices in the county annex as well as a courthouse. I'm supposed to be able to seek permission to do something that's not illegal from the county commissioner's office, according to the first half of this court order they gave me. Hoping, as Mr. Muzinski is on the LaPorte County Public Records Commission, that there would be a copy of this filed with that office.
So you are needing to see, are you asking me for an ordinance?
It doesn't look to be an ordinance. It looks to be a court order that bans electronic devices for safety and security of the public, that it's banning from using. I don't know what the public's going to do to harm themselves with their own telephones, but this is what the court order says. I'd like to challenge this court order. And I'd like to know if...
Bear with me here just a moment. I think it's an ordinance.
Pretty sure it's court order.
You got a copy of it?
I have the front page. I have a copy of the front page, which looks to show staple marks, but I don't have a secondary page that would have like the date or the signature of the judges. Now, I did my due diligence to try to find this on my own, but if you look up this cause number here, there's nothing. It just says case created an error, case closed.
There's no date on it either.
No, I'm assuming that's what the second page is. However, the thing is, no, I don't. That was provided to me by one of the court officers while I was recording in the clerk's office, and they were telling me that I can't, and they were recording me back.
In the county?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because you're not supposed to have your phones
Actually,
in the courthouse.
this is the opinion of the public access counselor from 2018.
Okay.
Describing common areas in that building. I'm actually not allowed to have my phone in the courtroom because, and it has nothing to do with Indiana statute, Indiana code, public access counselor's opinion. It's a judicial canon, I believe 2.17, 2.18, that restricts a judge from being able to disseminate the information in that fashion. So the restrictions are judicial canons placed upon judges inside of the courtroom. Public business, that's kind of what makes it a public area, which means the public would be able to record in there. I know I can record in there because I've recorded in there and nobody arrested me.
I'm listening to you, but I'm also looking
That's
up
fine.
the ordinance. I think it's an ordinance or resolution.
I mean, I'd be happy to read whatever, however, I'm challenging it no matter what.
Okay. Okay, bear with me here. If not, I'd be willing to speak to you a little bit more freely.
See, that's the thing, is I did the speaking freely with no documentation, and I was taken advantage of, and it's nothing personal, but I sort of do it for my own, to cover myself.
How about me covering myself?
You're more than welcome to record.
I don't feel the need to.
I used to not feel a need to, but I was convinced quite extensively there was a need to. I actually have two rolling, just to be clear.
Yeah, I'm sure. I see both.
but it's,
I see both of them. So see this, I wouldn't have access to this, but that's what I'm saying to you is that what I do know of the,
so, what I'm wondering is if Mr. Mrzinski here, whether he knows it or not, he's on what's known as a LaPorte County Public Records Commission.
okay,
Now, being that this sort of bans things that his office is supposed to protect,
okay,
I'd be interested to see if I could get his permission, because it says here, granted a written exception by LaPorte County Judge, Magistrate, or County Commissioner. So I'd like to, I guess on behalf of the public, request permission, being that, the public pays his salary and the public voted him in.
So do you need a public request form?
A public records request?
Yeah,
I mean, I'll take a public records request.
okay.
I love public records
Or
requests.
Freedom of Information Act form. I have one of
I think
those
it's actually
as well.
called an APRA here in Indiana, the Access to Public Records Act. FOIA is a federal level.
I know, but I have both, just in case.
However, locally, it would be ideal to be able to access the LaPorte County Public Records Commission. It seems that on the state level, they've created quite a bit of information to prepare this commission in protecting me from things like this. So
Okay. So you said that you were in the clerk's office with that. How did you get this here?
well, I basically told them that I know.
Was this today?
No, this was several months ago.
Uh-huh.
But I just walked in recording and told them, I know that I can record. I know that you know I can record. So I'm going to go ahead and just record on through. And you do what you have to do. If you feel that you can arrest me for violating this nonsense court order, go ahead.
Okay, here's
They
that.
chose to record
Here's
me
that.
back, which sort of I encourage. Everybody's got the right to record in a public space, even the bailiff that works there.
Mhm.
As well as I can, request a public record
Okay.
of that recording. It only just gives me another angle, shows what I'm doing as well as what they're doing.
Okay.
But yeah, I left of my own free will. I understand that it's a court order and ordinarily that means something, but sometimes a judge can write a court order without the
Can I
authority.
have a copy of that?
Yeah.
Can I make myself a copy?
Not a problem. This
you
is a
very
copy of a copy. So second page there,
Yeah,
I
do you have it?
no, I don't.
You only
Like I
have
said,
this?
they only gave me that copy
Did you
there.
write my case and put that case number
I
in?
did. That case number comes up as essentially opened and then closed. It says it was opened and created an error. And I did quite a bit of research. I Googled a lot of these terms. I can't find this online anywhere else. And my case is the only place I know of that I could download it in like a PDF form. So
And did you get this, you said, from the clerk's office?
I got it from, I believe it was John Bortz gave me a copy of this. He's one of the bailiffs, or a big guy,
Mhm.
jolly guy. I like John. But he gave me just that front page. And it, like I said, there's some markings here that looks like it had a staple in it, but I didn't get a second page, which I presume has maybe a little more writing on it, but it definitely would have the date and the judge's signatures because it's a court order, which is pretty much useless without a judge's signature. But nonetheless, this one is null and void because they don't have the authority to do this, at least not in the fashion that they've done it.
So would you be willing to, whatever you need from us, would you be willing, are you saying to fill out that request form from me? But if it's one of our ordinances, what I'm speaking about, that's on our county website.
See, and that's what I'm trying to
So you
find
wouldn't
out
have
is
to-
I've tried to access quite a bit of stuff on the county website and not quite up to par. I hate to say it, but the city of LaPorte has even got you beat. But a lot of the stuff, there's links, but it doesn't
Mhm.
show you the full page. You can't scroll the page.
Okay.
So I can find the link if I
Mhm.
Google it or search it somehow. But then when I actually click on the link, if it's somewhere on like the bottom of the page or something that you'd have to scroll down to access,
Mhm.
the site doesn't work well at all.
Okay.
I mean, I understand it's a government website, but it's
Okay.
like there's people that'll tell me are on boards and commissions, and it only shows like the top half of their face, not even their name or their position. Some of the pages that it links to are just broken. There's like 20% of the page, maybe. But yeah, I anticipated my case would have it.
Yeah, I wondered about that when I saw that. You
But-
said you'd already went to it.
Nope, I checked it probably 45 minutes before I got here today. So
And again, this is for having cell phones and or recording devices.
yeah, this says no electronic devices, cameras and recordings. I mean, now the thing is they don't even enforce this
Okay.
in the county annex, it seems. Only like where the jail visitation is, it seems that those
Mhm.
people are pretty much kept track of. But I've recorded all through that building, specifically
Okay.
the prosecutor's office. I've interacted with the EMS county building. It just seems to be that the courthouse, where the metal detector and all the guards are, that's where they
I
restrict
think it's
the.
because of the courtrooms.
Right. Now that's the thing is they can
Mhm.
actually very much so legally restrict the ability to record from
Okay.
the courtroom. But they can't restrict the ability to bring an electronic device into the building because it's a public area. Like the clerk's office
Mhm.
is a public area. She's supposed to be open to the public. If they've placed a restriction on the public, that's a final action. That would have to be something like an ordinance,
Mhm.
but it's challengeable then.
Okay.
Um,
And I'm looking right now. I don't have them all memorized, but I at least have them in some type of order. So that's what I'm going through right now. On what I remember of something to do with security scanning, like that.
I presume it does mention the
Mhm.
sheriff of LaPorte County is
Mhm.
authorized to conduct non-invasive searches of persons and property entering the premises. I don't know what a non-invasive search is, but this is authorizing the sheriff
Mhm.
to confiscate and destroy personal property based upon a First Amendment protected activity. That's where my concern lies.
Well, you seem to be very knowledgeable.
It's only been about 3 years of reading up on it all. Took me a while to get to this point, but somebody has to be knowledgeable about it.
And I'm looking, so bear with me again. Let's see here. I have one. Let's see. All right, and I'm thinking about recording devices.
It says pager devices, cameras. Here's a good example. For instance, like the county commissioners actually have their meeting in, I believe, the county annex building. Public's supposed to be able to record those meetings.
Okay,
If you can't have a device in there, how are you going to record the meeting?
I believe Alco records it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Mhm.
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with my right to record it.
No, I'm just saying that it is recorded.
If Alco's doing that on my behalf,
Mm,
that's different.
okay. They're doing it on our behalf.
Um,
On our behalf. So,
their sound quality could use some funding. Other than that, they're pretty good. Their viewing times at about 2 and 3 a.m. for the city council and stuff is not ideal.
Maybe I'm not putting in the correct word. Oh, thinking of arms. I think maybe that's what I was thinking. That's probably what I was thinking about, the deadly weapons, firearms, but you're not talking about that.
No. Though a camera is oftentimes treated as if you have a firearm.
So I'm assuming once you leave here, you will be uploading that and posting it on Facebook.
No, ma'am, you are live.
Nice.
Hello
out there.
This one's live. I mean, you're doing a great job. I watched videos of other people that petition for government change and request access to records in the name of accountability and transparency. You are doing very well.
Well,
I
thank
will
you.
say that.
Thank you. So allow me to do my job at
Not
the
a
same
problem.
time.
Not a problem. I would actually prefer to
Report
sit
County
down out of your
Commissioners?
way.
Not sure. No. Okay. All right. Thank you. Bye. Okay. So let me get you.
We're gonna get some
Sure.
inspirational
Well,
stuff in
thank you
here
very
for you.
much.
We like that.
And without actually being properly introduced,
My name is Chris Throgmorton.
I know who you are.
All right.
So
I anticipated as possible.
Diane Gonzalez.
Diane Gonzalez.
Yes, sir.
I know your name from somewhere.
Mhm.
You
I am the secretary to the Board of Commissioners, sir.
that could be where it's from.
Mhm.
You guys are usually the ones that get stuff accomplished. This is secretaries.
Okay.
You like the gatekeepers.
Thank you. Hello there.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
We're using your room.
You go right ahead. Hello.
Jerry Jackson. Yes.
All right. You're being very patient. Thank you. Okay, I have an ordinance 2003-1 regarding courthouse security scanning.
That's for the metal detectors.
Mhm.
I'm assuming that's from 2003.
Mhm. Yeah. I was thinking it was right after 9/11
How many pages is that? Can I get a copy of that?
because you asked nicely.
Thank you very much. But nothing in regards to this.
No, that's what I was asking you. That's what I was wondering.
I know the metal detectors have been in.
Well, but I think it was after this was the cell phones. So
Right.
I'm looking.
I believe four people nationwide had a cell phone gun or something.
I think it was the metal detectors first, then it was videotaping in the courtrooms.
Right. They did a pilot project for that.
Or what if I'm filing a protection order against myself and somebody's, not against myself.
That's in open
or
court, though.
I'm at the clerk's office or restraining order. And somebody's in and they're taking photos, but not realizing I'm in the background.
Honestly, that's the price you pay for doing business with a public office. It's no different than me being
Okay, here's this part. So let me look a little bit more.
arrested for trespassing while recording in a public building and that's on my record for life because it just says decided, not guilty or not guilty.
Well, it's probably about time I met you. You're quite notorious.
I wish it wasn't that way.
Well, I didn't say that notorious was bad, correct, or good. I'm just saying.
I meant more, I wish I didn't accomplish. That's how I became well.
Let me see here.
It's sad because I don't even know if Kathy Kroback would be able to provide me a copy of that. She's always busy when I try to get a hold of her. I've only been able to contact her once.
Maybe.
I think the sheriff would have a copy of that by chance.
I don't know. See, because it's they may, especially because authorized to conduct. I don't know. I've never seen that. I don't see this as being, of course, one of our ordinances or resolutions. So and obviously it's not because it's some type of order.
I've went through a good bit of county minutes in the minutes.
Well, you mean for the commissioners?
I want to say this is from 2013, but I don't know the date. Because I know those signs have been up for at least since 2015. The no electronic device signs outside.
Since 2013, you say?
Maybe. I want to say this is maybe from 2013. Now I'm going off of what I think to be memory of Mr. Bortz telling me this, but I got a pretty good memory. So.
Okay. I'm in 2013 now, just looking though for a ordinance when maybe I should be looking at the resolutions too. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And see, that's what I was trying to figure out is if this is a court order, it would be on my case. But if it's an ordinance, it would be through the county commission. Or I would assume, because it's county-wide, applicable, it wouldn't go through the city council.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd be happy to just track down the.
And when did you get that?
I've had this. I'll have to check. At least a few months. They gave it to me when I was recording in the clerk's office.
So I know I'm live. Hello out there. I know I'm live, and that's all good. But I also feel that I would feel better doing a little bit more research for you to give you the correct information that I can give to you if you'd be willing to allow me to.
That's about the most honest thing you can say working for government is I'm going to look into this and give you factual information.
We're here for the office. It's all open to the county.
It is. But see, that's what I'm trying to figure out is that office is supposed to be open as well. But
I think to get to that office, you have to go through the security.
Right. Now, see, it would make more sense to have security. Like, it used to be in the annex downstairs. They have a metal detector down there. And that's for right before you used to go in.
Is there a court down there?
There used to be a court down there. I want to say it was Superior 2, maybe? 3, Superior 3. And it was Thorne's Court. It was downstairs in the basement in the annex. And you used to have to go through a metal detector solely to get into that court. Like you could pay traffics right there without going through and everything. But it was, they had a metal detector for that court.
Okay.
They could do that with Superior 3 and Circuit. I think that's it over here, ain't it?
Yeah, let's see. You have Circuit and Superior 3, and then 1, 2, and 4
are all in Michigan City.
Uh-huh.
So you'd only need 5 metal detectors, technically. I imagine they have 3 or 4 already. It would make more sense to be right there posted up in front of the courtroom because that's where you're actually not that's the thing is they're trying to prevent you from being able to take them in the courtroom, but they're preventing you from in the building, which creates overlaps for things like public meetings where you're allowed to record at, the clerk's office, and things of that nature.
Okay, so let me look into this because basically what you're wanting.
I want to be able to record in the clerk's office.
Gotcha.
Because I know that that's the best way for me to document my business there
And so
with
is it
a public
specifically
official.
your business and not where you're just like a reporter and you're going to go in and sit there every single day and record
Be able
what's
to do
happening?
that as well.
Okay,
Because
okay,
essentially, most of it's being recorded as we speak right now. There's
Okay.
several cameras in there, and I can request access to that footage
okay,
as a public record.
okay,
There's really not much difference between me recording while I'm there walking around and them recording me while I'm there walking around and giving me footage,
okay.
as well as I'm not hiding my footage. I'm not,
What do you do with your footage?
my
then?
footage is open to the public.
Okay,
And it's, I mean, even when I seem like a jackass, it's open to the public.
so what do you do for a living?
What do I do for a living?
Yeah. Do you have a job? Do you work?
I do not discuss personal things like
You know
that
where I
while
work?
recording.
You know where?
But you're public, you
Exactly.
work for a public official, it's different.
Well, what if I'm on my break?
I will tell you,
What
however,
if I'm on my break?
I'm running for Soil and Water Conservation
You are?
District Board Supervisory
Okay.
position, which would put me in a position such as Mr. Mrzinski here,
Okay,
where I would have to take a public official's oath to
Mhm.
uphold the Constitution, faithfully fulfill my duties, and then I would be subjected to very, very broad standards as to what I can object to as a
Okay.
public official as well. I just haven't, it's no different than an attorney who loses his First Amendment right to free speech when he's an official of the courtroom.
okay.
He's subjecting
Well, you
himself to
seem
those
very
rules.
knowledgeable. I'll give you
Um,
that.
I mean, my goal is to be able to interact and have both of us know this, because in my opinion, these things shouldn't be treated as threatening or intimidating or otherwise
Correct.
make you
Correct.
uncomfortable as a
But
public
maybe
official.
sometimes that
I mean,
doesn't always, maybe some people don't want to be live all the time.
the public doesn't want to have a lot of their stuff not private, but as a government worker or a public
Well, and I'm
official
not- I-
often has the authority to pry into that privacy just the same. So it works sort of both ways and balances out. I have less authority to object to my privacy being invaded if it's a public official, because they have the authority of various courts and laws and legislature
Okay,
and things of that
okay.
nature. However, the same legislature gives me the right to record public officials while they're engaged in their official duties in public spaces.
So what feed, where
I,
am I live right now?
I am the LaPorte reporter. I used to be LaPorte County Corruption Watch, and I'm trying to not keep track of just the bad stuff that
Well, I
goes
would
on.
hope that I would not fall under the corruption.
No.
watch.
You're doing pretty well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Most people would not have this conversation and interaction. I appreciate this very much because you get to show me the other
Well, I'm
side
just
with an explanation.
thrilled to have met you.
I'm
I've heard
very nice to meet
lots
you
of
as
stuff
well.
about you.
Um,
Lots of stuff.
Some people are not as thrilled to meet me, so
Doesn't matter.
it's
I'm thinking, wow.
it's when I went in to vote, they knew who I was, and I was like,
Mhm.
what? And then I just got lucky enough that
Maybe you should run for office.
one of the guys is an English
You are
literate.
a registered voter then.
I
so you
am.
could run
I'm
for
definitely
office.
local voting matters more
Do you
than
live within the city limits?
I
of
do.
LaPorte?
I live in the city of LaPorte.
Got elections
Live,
coming up next week, next year.
If we were
Good for you.
talking city council,
Yes, there you
Um,
go.
but
There you go. To be at large.
I really kind of want to get into something environmentally, like the soil and water conservation
Okay.
has a lot of environmental, thank you,
Yeah.
and nature routes. I don't know if I would necessarily want to be. I don't want the ability to lose anybody's money. I don't want to be, I don't want to make my constituents mad. I'd rather volunteer and
How do I get a hold of you, Mr. Famous Man?
you can reach me on Facebook.
I don't do Facebook.
Oh,
I like to lay low. Therefore,
my personal email
I
address.
appreciate that.
It's actually linked to this YouTube, just the same.
Okay.
It's sirthrogmorton@gmail.com.
Sir.
Yep,
Okay.
all lowercase.
And then what you were asking for is, you were asking for that, but I wouldn't have access
Yeah, if
to
there's
that.
an
So
ordinance.
Uh-huh.
Now, see, what I was wondering is with this, with him being on the Public Records Commission, in an ideal process, I believe a copy of this would end up at us, which would put this office possibly in possession, and that's why I came here to sort of check
Okay.
it out today. Is in the ideal process, this should end up in the hands of the commissioners, but we'll
And I did
see.
get a copy of
If
that.
there's an ordinance,
Didn't I get a copy of that? Did I give you back the copy?
you know what? I might have took your copy, actually.
Well, then how am I supposed to get anything done? You have both copies.
That would be my fault, too. Yep,
Wait,
that's the copy you made.
Yep, there
That's
you
the
go.
clean one.
and this is the ordinance that I gave you, and that's just on security scanning.
Yeah, that's the
right
metal
now, but let me
detectors.
see what else I can find out on there. And again,
Thank you very
nice
much.
to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Enjoy the weather. It's
Well,
actually
thank you.
nice. I say that everybody I interact with, but
Great.
it's actually kind of hot in this winter coat today.
Well, it looks very nice.
I have other
Thank
business
you.
to attend to. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So, she was pleasant, very pleasant. We got some other business to attend in a bit. We're gonna go ahead and end this one, wrap it up. Thanks everybody for watching this video. Keeping an eye out on it while we proceed. Actually, I sold weed to Chris Turtel, CI number 7. I believe the Michigan City Police Department decided that they put him in Florida in a BMW. So there's your taxpayers at work while you're trying to defame me, dumbass. CI number 741, Chris, K-R-I-S, Turtel, T-I-R-T-E-L. Sounds good. Deuces.